Hi there, families, and welcome to Curriculum Night Fall 2020. Here is some details about AP Biology this year. My name is Miss Nell Wythe, and you may have had an older child who had me in the past as Miss Niewiadomski. Got married in summer 2019 and changed my name officially last year, so here we go. This will be my 5th year teaching AP Biology, and I have pulled the syllabus that I've offered to students, and we're just pulling a couple of details out that would be interest to the parents. So here we go. First off, this is a college level class, and there are sort of prerequisites that were part of the course before your student could enroll in it. They definitely had to complete biology. Hopefully they enjoyed it. And also chemistry, a full year of chemistry, because some of the content and how deep we dive into the biology of it within the chemical reactions and the biochemistry of it, some chemistry background definitely is needed. If your student does not remember of any of it, it's not going to be a problem. I build review into the units, and it's kind of, we set the scaffold of what we already come in knowing. Remember this? Okay, now let's build upon. In terms of what we actually are studying, that's what I have here in the units at a glance. And I'll go ahead and pull it up here on the College Board site. This is out of the document called AP Bio Course at a Glance. I own it as a really fat binder in my classroom. It is also an online document that you can peruse at your leisure. But the curriculum for AP Bio changed in fall 2019. Changed loosely. A couple of units or a couple of content pieces were dropped completely out of the curriculum or simply interwoven as examples instead of being a full unit in themselves. And not many more things were added, mainly reorganization. So I follow almost the exact organization as they planned, except that I don't start with chemistry of life as our first unit. I actually start with evolution and natural selection as the first unit. I choose this because it actually helps to anchor a lot of the things that we learn about further, and it's also a little bit more user-friendly content than biochemistry basics. And so there tends to be a lot more success in the evolution unit, and students get more confidence built up underneath them before we tackle something that a lot of kids in the past have struggled with in maybe their chemistry class. And now we are learning at it at a biology aspect. So chemistry of life is our second unit. Cell structure and function is pretty explanatory for the next one. Cellular energetics is all about enzymes and feedback, as well as cellular respiration and photosynthesis. Cell communication and cell cycle, this is how cells are talking to each other and sending feedback signals. Elements about cancer are also included in this part of the cell cycle unit. Heredity, all things genetics and meiosis and reproduction and passing on of traits, a popular unit, that one is. Unit 6, which is R7, gene regulation and expression. This is one that actually quite ramps up from what students may have learned in their biology class about DNA to RNA to protein. There's a whole lot more going on in there of how it is regulated differently in eukaryotes and prokaryotes. And then there's a big unit on the biotechnology and the resources that scientists use that we have harnessed from bacteria and viruses, for example, and what they use in labs. The natural selection unit is what we're in right now, and ecology rounds out the year. So back to here. That's going to be the content throughout the year. Roughly first semester might end right around the cellular respiration photosynthesis, and then more of the genetic stuff takes over in the second semester, roughly. So in addition to what we are learning, how we are learning it makes a big difference too. Move myself out of the way. College Board asks or designs the course to be focused around these 6 science practices. So not only what it is that we learn about, but how it is that we learn those things. The first 2 is just content or concept explaining it, right? And being able to basically I understand this concept and I could explain the relationship I observe. And then the science practice 2 is doing that with pictures and diagrams, visual representations of the content. So we actually do incorporate quite a lot of that into our learning, having visual aids and models of things that might be kind of hard to understand if it's just words. The big downfall to our COVID situation is we are losing a lot of our in-house lab capabilities for obvious reason. I'm going to be trying my best to make sure that all of these science practices are handled in some way, even if we can't do a lab like we used to in the classroom where we design it, we execute the lab and like implement our techniques, and then we collect the data, graph the data, analyze, and write claims. We can still pull aspects of all of those, at least within each lab. So if we aren't going to be running electrophoresis gels at home, mine mainly, I will have a video and time lapse of one so that students are still exposed to that content and analyzing that kind of data. But many labs, we can at least even go through the practice of how would we set this up? How would you design this experiment? And what would be your methods of implementation to get at the question that you're trying to answer? So we still can do science practice 3. It's just the execution will be a little funny this year. The graphs, tables, and trends, definitely possible. If we aren't able to actively collect data with maybe what kids could possibly do at home or generate from demos online, I still have data from the last 4 years of AP biology that I can provide, and we can still look at and analyze. And it's kind of great because it's a large volume of data, not just maybe your class period where things didn't go quite right. So that is one benefit there. The statistical analysis will be coming to play. We'll work on chi-squared, other statistic pieces of looking like, is it statistically significant or not? We actually do a lab studying the statistics of Ballard High School and the numbers and the data and where people are within our building at different class periods, let's say. And the last portion, very common, very simple to continue to implement, is our argumentation. So claims and evidence, putting them together, explaining concepts, and explaining what results mean. Next one. Oh, what our week looks like. Oh, I've gone one too far. There we go. I see your students, they either have me in first period or second period, and I don't have a third period. That's my prep. So Mondays and Thursdays are AP Bio days dedicated just to them, and I'm not jumping around, which is great. In the morning, we have our synchronous time during class where I try to not directly lecture at them. I let that be something that they can work on independently in the afternoon. I'm going to try to keep our morning focus on being able to work in small breakout room groups, on collaborative labs, or having discussions, or giving the opportunity to like ask questions and get help on how are we doing the thing that we're supposed to do this afternoon alone, right? So that they can actually have that direct instruction and time for questions. I'm available in the afternoon sessions and basically keep the Microsoft Teams call open if people want to come in and pop in. It's kind of like an office hours, but it is also an opportunity for students to keep working in their small groups without me there, or they can even pull me in if they need that. So that's what Mondays and Thursdays look like as an AP class or a college level class, in addition to the, say, 50-minute morning, 50-minute afternoon. On that Monday and Thursday, I am allowed to add one more hour of additional work. And that's what is in this window that my face is blocking. There we go. And so this was agreed upon amongst the department heads and the instructional council to see how this goes in the first week of school. And we'll be asking for your students' feedback on how that feels. Are they getting no more than 3 hours of work on a Monday, 3 hours of work on a Thursday for their one AP class? And so if you find that your student is being completely overloaded, or by golly, they signed up for 4 or 5 AP classes, let them know that this is the reality of that work expectation. And if things are getting assigned beyond that, that is mainly the teacher needing to pull back, right? Or maybe there's tech challenges getting in their way and they need to reach out, things like that. So hopefully as we hit our stride here in the first couple of weeks of school, we are reaching that standard of amount of time, because we know these are tough times and we want to make sure that students still have time for their own personal things and family things and their own mental health. So And the last few odds and ends, being that we aren't in the classroom consuming consumables or needing to check out and rent equipment and all this stuff, there is no lab fee at this time. Normally at the start of the year, science department asks for $20 to $30 donation. Not going to happen right now. If we have things change for second semester, that might be something that gets talked about again in January and February. There is no lab safety form because they're not handling glassware at the moment, and they're not handling flames or fire or chemicals. Please just be safe in your own homes. And the AP Biology exam date for spring 2021 is set for Friday, May 14th, and it's a morning exam that day. And students will be choosing in the AP Classroom College Board website by November 2nd if they're going to commit to taking this exam or not. There will be more details on the AP exam and how we prepare for it and things like that. We did take a very strange, sharp left turn last year, and the exam dramatically changed from what we had been preparing for. And even, I'll be honest, what College Board told me the exam would be did not end up quite being what the exam would be. So I'm going to wait for the chips to fall and see where they are at, maybe before November 1st for sure, but just going to see what kind of information College Board is sending me about that in case your student is interested in taking the AP Bio exam this coming spring. If you have any other questions, that is kind of it. I guess I could try to make my face large. Nope. Okay, that changed that. Well, thank you for coming. If you have questions about AP Bio, please do not hesitate to reach out. You can get me at, I can get here. I can do this. My email is way up here. There you go. nknievedumps@seattleschools.org. It's my former maiden name, but you can always look me up as Nell Wythe in Ballard High School's website and get me there. That's really the best one, is the Seattle Schools email. Students can quickly reach out to me in the chat. And to be honest, a Schoology message is not ideal because they get buried very easily and they're hard to search for if I don't handle them immediately. So thank you for coming, and hopefully your student is going to love biology just as much as I do this year, and I can't wait to be working with them. Thank you. Bye-bye.